Okay, welcome back. So again, our aim is how do we prove the properties of a parallelogram? So once again, what is a parallelogram? The definition is a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, a four-sided figure with both pairs of opposite sides parallel. So if you remember, there were many properties that we discovered when we measured them. We discovered that both pairs of opposite sides are congruent, which is a theorem, and we proved that in one video. We also know that both pairs of opposite angles are congruent, which is also a theorem, and we proved that one as well. The next one is consecutive angles are supplementary. We're going to prove this theorem, that consecutive angles are supplementary. So let's see what we got. So we're going to prove theorem 6-4, and we're going to prove that angle A is supplementary to angle B, and that angle A is supplementary to angle D. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, let's see. In this case, unlike the other two proofs that we just did before, which is proving that opposite sides are congruent and proving that opposite angles are congruent, in this case, we're not going to draw any triangles. What are we trying to show? That if you add A and D, right? If you add A plus angle D, you get 180 degrees. And if you add angle A plus angle B, you equal 180 degrees. I'm trying to prove this is true. How do I prove that this is true? Right? That's what I'm trying to do. So we're going to use the definition of a parallelogram. So what is the definition of a parallelogram? We said it before. It is a quadrilateral where both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. That is the definition, which means that BC is parallel to AD, and it also means that BA is parallel to CD. Okay, so here's something that we are going to do because I think it will be helpful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extend some lines. In other words, I'm going to extend AD right over here, and I'm also going to extend BA and CD. Okay, remember, BA and CD, they are parallel. This is functioning as my transversal. This is line 1, this is line 2. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, what do I know about their same side interior angles? Well, if two parallel lines, remember these are parallel, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, same side interior angles are supplementary, right? The sum of two same side interior angles add to 180. I also know, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another line. So let's take a look. I'm going to draw another line, namely BC. Right? We're trying to show that angle A plus angle B is also supplementary. Well, let's take a look. I've got two parallel lines, namely this line and this line. These two lines are parallel to each other. They're cut by the transversal. Now this is my transversal. This is my new transversal. We'll call it T2. Right? So these are my parallel lines. We're going to call this line 3 and line 4, with T2 being my transversal. Well, if that's the case, what do I know? I know that this angle here, which is angle A, and this angle here, which I will call angle B, okay, I know that those are also same side interior angles. They are on the same side of the transversal, in the interior of these parallel lines. These are the parallel lines. Remember, these are the two parallel lines. These two angles, angle B and angle A, they are same side interior angles, and they are supplementary, which means A is supplementary to B. Okay, so how do we put this together as a proof? All right, so we have statement, we have reason. This belongs in your notes. You need to know how to do this. Okay, first order of business is, number 1, what do we got? Well, we're given that we have parallelogram A, B, C, D. And that is given. Number 2, what do I know because of it? Remember, what is the definition of a parallelogram? Both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. It's a quadrilateral where both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. Well, so what does that mean? Let's do the first one. We know that BA and CD are parallel. So in other words, line segment BA is parallel to line segment CD. Let's also state what else we know. We know that, well, you know what? Let's use that as a jumping off point. BA is parallel to CD. Why? That is the definition of a, I'm feeling lazy. I'm going to just draw a parallelogram. That looks more like a trapezoid. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And we're just going to say P-gram parallelogram. Definition of a parallelogram. BA is congruent to BA is parallel to CD. BA is parallel to CD. What does that mean? That means that these two angles, so what I'm going to do is let me clear this and let's see what we got. I know that if if these two are parallel to each other, and this is my transversal, that means that angle A plus angle D are supplementary, right? Because they're same side interior angles. So we're going to say that 3 angle A plus angle D is equal to 180. Why? Because they are same side interior angles. What else do I know? Well, I got through saying that BA is parallel to CD, and now I got to say that BC is parallel to AD. So the fourth statement is going to be that BC is parallel to AD. Line segment BC is parallel to AD. Why? That's also the definition of a parallelogram. Folks, this belongs in your notes. Well, what do I know because of that? If BC is parallel to AD, in other words, if these line segments are parallel to each other, what am I trying to show? I want to show that A and B are supplementary, right? A and B. Well, I know that because here's my transversal. Here is my transversal. So I know that if I added angle A plus angle B together, they would equal 180. So I know that statement number 5 is angle A plus angle B is equal to 180. Why? For the same reason here, because they are same side interior angles. Same side interior angles are supplementary when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So what is my sixth and final statement going to be? Well, it's going to be that A is supplementary to B. Angle A is supplementary to angle B, and angle A is supplementary to angle D. I'm going to cheat here a little bit. Angle A is supplementary to angle B and angle D. I'm just feeling a little lazy. Angle A is supplementary to angle B and angle D. Why? Well, what does supplementary mean? Their sum is equal to 180, right? So in other words, what's the reason? Because supplementary angles sum to 180 degrees. And that is all. Make sure this is down in your notes. Put your player on pause if you need to, but you need to know this.